Krishna Divine grace is Srila Swami Srila Prabhupada and Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srila Sri Radha Krishna Gopina Sham Radha Kundi Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Vrindavan Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Sabhavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Gauri Dai Ki Jai, Sri Balaram Ki Jai, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar Ki Jai, Shaka Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Lord Premanandi, all Krishna Samati devotees, all Krishna assembled devotees, all followers. Sri Gauranga. Very historic day reserved for Srila Prabhupada's departure for USA, America. I don't know what time of the day, sometime today. Boarded that General 1965. I was a small man. You all remember what you were doing in 1965? No? How come? No? Krishna remembers a year of that. You were another body. 1965? How many of you were on the planet? On the planet. 65.
I was married.
Huh?
I was married.
You were married in 65? That's historical, isn't it? And happily married since then. Accomplishment. So it was way back in 1922, in fact. In Kolkata, Srila Prabhupada was given this instruction. You seem to be very intelligent. Srila Prabhupada had walked into that corner where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was delivering the talk to assembled disciples, devotees. And Srila Prabhupada walked with his friend and offered his obeisances, and Srila Prabhupada had not even properly sat obeisances. He was still trying to take his seat, and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta pointed out, you seem to be very intelligent. And you should spread this, bring this dharma, Bhagavad Dharma. I don't remember now, word for word. The idea was you should bring this message to the Western world and preach in the English language. So it took a long time before, lifetime in preparation. Before you execute anything. They say you prepare 80% of the time for preparation, 20% time for execution. Then you'll get the success. Not other way around. No preparation or little preparation and you jump into action. Is that it? Talk. Some kind of universal understanding. How much time in preparation? 18% time in preparation. So, Prabhupada was preparing to one day go to the West. He was also married, and he had his little pharmacy in Prayag Pharmacy. In Srila Prabhupada. And in 1944 he starts publication of his Back to God magazine. This was part of the preparation. When he goes to Jhansi, he used to travel all over North India to sell his products. So he was well received in Jhansi, and he was spending more time in Jhansi, going back and forth between Jhansi and Allahabad, Prayag. And one time he had gone back and Srila Prabhupada's wife had sold some big, thick, fat Bhagavatam. Kabadi, paper! And by that time, he's sold and got some tea biscuits, tea in exchange. So when Prabhupada realized what his wife had done, that's it. And he had asked that question, you want tea or me? Take your pick. The wife had said, of course tea. Well, see, jokingly or in a humorous way, she responded, she had no idea what would be the outcome of such a response. Light-hearted manner. I'll go for tea. Then Prabhupada went for something else. Okay, you stay with your tea and here I go. And Srila Prabhupada left for Jhansi. He had been going, coming, but this time he was only going and not coming anymore. This was also part of the preparation. Now he was from Grahastha to Vanaprastha, and lots of preparations in Jhansi. You know where Jhansi is? Not far from here, Jhansi. 3-4 hours by train. This is on temple now, huh? 4 hours. South of Mathura. So Srila Prabhupada was doing further preparations. He was trying to recruit some preachers, putting ads in the papers. Preachers wanted. If you have so many sons, give me one. I will train him, send him all over the world to propagate Krishna consciousness. No response. Very little response. And he founded his Sarvabhauma Sabha, Sarvabhauma organization. Before he was preaching, he conceived devotees in Jhansi, or those who go deeper into what Srila Prabhupada did while he was in Jhansi, he conceived ISKCON. He was meditating, he was planning, he was some strategy. He had never forgotten that instruction about Bhaktisiddhanta, although lots of time had passed. He was only preparing, thinking. So ISKCON was conceived in Jhansi and delivered in New York. Conception and delivery. So conceived in Jhansi and delivered in New York. Then Srila Prabhupada he had a place in mind where he was staying. He thought he would make that as his headquarters, but that did not work out in his favor. And he had to leave. He left Jhansi, comes to Mathura first. H.H.Lokanath Swami. He was spending time there, helping with some editing, some writing. He had his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lady of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jhansi. He brings that deity to Mathura. I understand the same deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still on the altar of H.H.Lokanath in Mathura. Narayan Maharaj is Keshav, or the spiritual master of Narayan Maharaj. Then Srila Prabhupada also, he takes sannyas, 1959, yes? This was also part of the preparation. He's going to be traveling all over the world, riding on third-class train. Such a thing doesn't even exist now. You know what is second-class like now? So you could imagine third class, one more class lower, and getting his books printed. He goes to the printer. Sometimes he carries paper on his head to save some rickshaw fare. He goes to the printer. Sometimes he has not taken his meal. He doesn't know where the meal is going to come from, or there's not sufficient money to buy a meal. So he's shifting between Delhi and Radha Damodar Temple. Continues to translate, and he has 3 volumes of Bhagavatam ready. He wanted to carry something substantial with him. So the books in English language is necessarily the appropriate thing, right thing. And one time Srila Prabhupada was in Kurukshetra attending Gita, some Sammelan. Lots of speakers from all over India had come to Gita. So Kurukshetra is a Gita's place where Gita advented, so there is some conference. So Srila Prabhupada was invited, he was there. This is where, I won't get into the details. He had met with Sumati Morarji, little encounter with Sumati Morarji, the owner of the Scindia Navigation Company. So at some point, Srila Prabhupada, after that Kurukshetra Gita conference, had gone to Bombay, met his lady in charge of his Jaladoot boat and many other cargo boats she owned. "You are too old, Swamiji," he says. You may not get back to America. You may survive. It's not an easy journey. And you have written a book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. But this journey is not going to be easy. But Prabhupada, well, he was fixed. He had to go. He has, this is the instruction. Order of my spiritual master, I must go. So Prabhupada had to come several times to meet this lady. He had to wait for hours to get the appointment, get the time to see her. So finally, she agreed, yes, Swamiji, you could travel on a cargo boat. The boat that carries goods, not the passengers. Some crew members, some staff, few others travel along with the big luggage, big baggage, big lots of goods. Srila Prabhupada, he traveled to Kolkata, again by train. His boat leaves from Kolkata, Jalan's boat. Well, now we fly. We only fly these days. This becomes the mode of transportation for us. So Prabhupada is to catch boat from Kolkata. He is taking train. Must be in third class train. In his diary, he makes note that he traveled via Nagpur. So devotees now Nagpur temple, they think Prabhupada traveled to America via Nagpur. Started his journey from, one sense, from Bombay, traveled to Kolkata via Nagpur. Then in Kolkata, Prabhupada prepared, packed his baggage. Everything was in one suitcase, which he was able to carry. No pulleys and bag on the top of another bag and another bag. Just one bag in one hand, and the other hand had an umbrella. So next he should carry a dund or umbrella. So there were a few friends to say bye, farewell. Srila Prabhupada climbing up the stairs of Jaladun's boat. Their famous scene picture. We all remember that Prabhupada climbing. There's one little diorama here in front of Prabhupada Samadhi. Diorama depicting those times. Then onto the boat, the first day was a good time. Riding on a Jaladut boat. Jaladut means messenger. The messenger of the waters. That is technical, literal meaning of the name of that boat. But as now Prabhupada was riding on that boat, he was Devadut, he was Krishna Dut, riding on Jaladut. Dut means messenger. So, some sense, is a very appropriate name for the boat, Doot. One Doot in another Doot. The boat is Doot and the passenger, Bhaktivedanta Swami, is Doot, is a messenger. The next day, as in Bay of Bengal, it was raining, it was windy and turbulence. Prabhupada started suffering seasickness, vomiting. So for next several days, Prabhupada was ill. He noted all this, some mentions, great mentions of this in his diary, which is now known in ISKCON as Jaladud diary. We don't know whether Srila Prabhupada was expecting one day his followers from all over the world would read his diary called Jaladud diary. Of course, we gave that name Jaladud diary. That wasn't Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada arrived at Colombo. The captain of the boat called Arun Pandya. He takes Prabhupada, let's go Swamiji, let's take a look. Let's go off the boat into the town. And Prabhupada was seeing the town around. Prabhupada liked Colombo. It's very clean, Prabhupada. It's very clean. This reminds me of Pune, he said. He wrote one letter to someone. It's where he mentions, oh, this is very clean city. And back on the Jaladud boat again. The next destination was going to be Kochi on the west coast of India. From Kolkata to Colombo, Sri Lanka, Ceylon. Before it was Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and to Kochi, Kerala. So Srila Prabhupada was going to his books, Bhagavatams, were going to be loaded on many crates of Bhagavatams, going to be loaded at Kochi. They went by lorry or other mode of transportation, loading of his books in Kochi. So boat was going to halt there for one night. So Prabhupada was in Kochi town, and this India navigation company, they had some office there, and some officers stayed in Kochi. So Prabhupada was a guest of these officers of India navigation company in Kochi. Some years ago, our Padayatra was in Cochin. I visited Cochin. I was in Cochin. Then we went to look for that place where Prabhupada had spent the night. As we went there, we were surprised that the lady who was also there in 1965 was still there. She said, I called for your Swamiji. And they showed us the place where he spent the night. Prabhupada, this one night, this was last night before he would now leave. His boat leaves for America. So that evening he wanted to do some satsang. So the officers of this navigation company's office organized some get-together. They invited some guests, and Prabhupada did program in that house. We spent the night. The next day, books on the boat, and finally leaving for America. Then on the way, there were more encounters with the climate and the rocking of the boat, and rains. And then there were, of course, the days, Prabhupada, heart attacks. One day, one, next day, another one. And Prabhupada wrote, if there would be another one, well, this would be end of me. These are Prabhupada's thoughts, which he wrote down in the diary. It was that bad. But he's tolerating all this. And he has a dream. And in the dream he sees a boat, and Krishna is personally rowing the boat. Krishna has taken charge of the boat and comforting Prabhupada, don't worry. Everything will be all right. Comforting Prabhupada in the dream, Krishna comforting. And then the rest of the journey was very smooth through Atlantic Ocean. The Captain Pandya noticed, or he made observation, I have gone back and forth so many times through this Atlantic Ocean, but for the first time, smooth journey like this. And Prabhupada explained how Krishna appeared in the dream and he took charge. He has taken charge of the boat. And that is why the wife of this captain said, Swamiji, you should accompany us on the way back to India. Then we'll have another smooth journey if you are with us. In 1965's Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada celebrated on the boat. No one else had no clue that it was a Janmashtami day. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he was not called Srila Prabhupada those days. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He made an announcement, he gathered the crew members and staff. Come. Let's have Janmashtami celebration. When they all gathered, Prabhupada talked about Krishna. And distributed some prasadam to them. Next day was his birthday. No ceremony was there. Only he knew that it was his birthday. There was no one to say happy birthday to you, or no cake or no nothing. Silent observation. Srila Prabhupada was, although he was in Vrindavan and now he had left Vrindavan, but not really. He had not left his Vrindavan. He was in Vrindavan. He was remembering, he's making those entries again. Remembering, he mentions three deities named Govinda, Gopinath, and Damodar. He's remembering these deities. So he lost or left his heart in Vrindavan. Although he's away, he's very much here in Vrindavan or Vrindavan spirit. Throughout the journey, he's reading, studying Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's absorbing studies of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So these are some of the highlights. Then his Lord Jaladut arrives at Boston Commonwealth Pier. This is where Srila Prabhupada cleared his customs and immigration clearance took place in Boston. This is the first town, first city, Prabhupada touched with his little seed, blessed America. Pandya was again with him. Pandya wanted to do some shopping, so Swamiji, come along, let's go. So there's some friendship developed, so he would take him to see the Boston. So Srila Prabhupada was there in the town, Boston, around and on the streets. And he saw the rat race, people moving, going back and forth so fast, not ready to stop. So busy. The rats, they go from one hole to another at the residence, and they make another hole and they spend a few minutes there, and then they get out and go to another one. They're racing. Rats do the racing from hole to hole. Sometimes people have their houses, homes. In this town, they have property in this town, another in that town, here, there, and they're shuttling back and forth. Or this office, that office, this business, running. The rats are so busy, he asks Rat, "Hello, Mr. Rat." Shake hand. The rat going to stop? Make the diversion. Move faster. So Prabhupada starts, I'm here to preach the message of Gauranga finally. As for instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, I am here the best to propagate Bhagavad Dharma in English language, but look, people are so busy. How is this going to be possible to preach to them? So Srila Prabhupada back on the Jaladut boat again, and the last leg of the journey from Boston to New York. And that is when Srila Prabhupada took a pen and paper and wrote a poem of what he had experienced in Boston and how is he going to accomplish the mission of this propagation of Bhagavad Dharma in the Western world. Then he starts praying to the Lord, and his prayers, his thoughts, he puts them on paper. Na chao Prabhu, na chao sai mate. Amito kastera putali. I'm just a little doll or puppet in your hand. Na chao, you make me dance. You make me dance as you will feel. On my own, I can't do anything. I'm just a dog in your hands. Make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance and talk and walk as you feel. And I have this big name, Bhakti Vedanta. Make this, you do something so that I am not so-called Bhakti Vedanta. Let the purport of this name Bhakti Vedanta be fulfilled. Bhakti Vedanta. So we get the glimpse of what was on Srila Prabhupada's mind throughout what he was going through, the illness and then thoughts and the prayers and his determination, his tolerance, of course his enthusiasm, his obedience to the order of his spiritual master, and his vision. He also wrote another prayer before I think he reached Boston. He's talking of how this holy name would reach every town, every village. There's a full confidence that this will definitely happen. So finally, in board reaching New York, it took him 35 days from Kolkata to New York. Now it takes 16 hours. Now you can go, you don't even have to break your journey in London or Paris. You just take off and land in New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Boston. Prabhupada traveled 35 days and he has now arrived in New York. As Prabhupada gets off the boat onto the land of America, Prabhupada makes another entry. He says, okay, I have reached here, but is anyone to receive me? No. Anyone with a garland, or chandan, or kirtan, is a press awaiting? What are the 5-star hotel booking or something? Nothing. So he is there, but he does not know now whether to turn right or left or where should he go. He doesn't know. No clue. And what about money? He had 40 rupees. Still 40 rupees as a balance. He also had to spend money on the boat for this or that. And when he was in New York, he had 40 rupees and $20 also. He sold a set of Bhagavatam to the captain of the boat. And he made $20. So he had 40 rupees and $20. But that money is, how long could he survive in New York with 40 rupees and $20? I mean, 20 hours or 20 minutes? Then he does meet with a travel agent who would arrange Srila Prabhupada's return journey. In Boston, he was given 3 months visa. He could stay only 3 months in America. So his visa was set. 3 months stay in America. So in New York, he arranged his return travels 2 months after he had just arrived. 2 months later, he was going to go back. So that person who arranged Prabhupada's return travels, the way Srila Prabhupada looked at sadhu outfit, simple cotton clothes, saffron of course, and tilak and kantimala. He had not seen anyone like him in his life. And of course, now in America probably have seen any traditional sadhu like that. But he was impressed, the gentleman. And then Prabhupada goes to a bus station. His sponsor was from Butler, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state. Butler is a town or city. So Srila Prabhupada is going to catch bus. He goes to bus station and is catching bus on Mr. Agarwal. Agarwal. He had sponsored Srila Prabhupada's travels or visa, but he had not come to receive Prabhupada. So Prabhupada had to go to bus station, catch bus to go to his host, one who has sponsored him. No courtesy, no hospitality, no. He is there in America now. Now there's 40 rupees, there's a story with that 40 rupees. Srila Prabhupada, it did stay on and on, not just 3 months, but several years. He stayed in America. And was that 67 or? He came with Vrindavan. Swami. And they had also stayed at Radha Damodar at that time. He was traveling, Kirtan was traveling with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada returned to India, Delhi airport. Again, there was no one to receive him this time also. First time. Then Prabhupada goes to a place called Chittiwada near Red Fort in Delhi. Srila Prabhupada used to stay in Delhi at Chittiwada. Just recently, ISKCON New Delhi has taken possession of the Chittiwada. The small Radha Krishna temple, small one. And Srila Prabhupada used to stay upstairs. Whenever he went from Vrindavan to Delhi to do his printing work, he used to stay there and do some. He got his typewriter and some papers. So that was his base. So Prabhupada went from the airport to Chittiwada. And he had to pay taxi fare. So he pulled out 40 rupees. The fare was exactly 40 rupees. The 40 rupees which he had them in New York, when he arrived in New York. Those 40 rupees, he was saving those 40 rupees. He did not convert and spend. He came back with the 40 rupees. And he paid his taxi fare at Chittiwada, the taxi was 40 rupees. So Srila Prabhupada is in America. Preaching by himself. He must have come back, spending time with the butler, his sponsors. They're a child, and Prabhupada would play with. And there's a photograph of Prabhupada with a little baby, Prabhupada holding his hands, fingers. Prabhupada cooking, doing his own cooking. He has a 3-4 tier cooker, and when he smiles, oceanic. The lady had used the word oceanic. Swami's smile or love is oceanic. And Prabhupada is back in New York and starts his mission. On the footpath, he's sitting and chanting. He has only Kartal known to play drum, and he has no microphone. But he's attracting attention of New Yorkers. They're strange looking. No hair and bend on the face, and he's wearing a red sheet, saffron red sheet. So Prabhupada is chanting, and people are gathering, and in between Srila Prabhupada stops and does some talking. Look, this is Supreme Personality of Godhead is showing the photograph of Sri Krishna. Oh! What is that girl doing there? They're asking. If this you say is God, then that next to him there's a girl. What is that girl doing? So much ignorance now of Panchadharmas, all the glories of Radharani. If this is Krishna, this has to be. If this is Ram, next to Ram, this has to be Sita. And if this is Balaram, this has to be Revati, and this is Narayan, this has to be Lakshmi. You know, the kids in India know this. For those elderly folks in America, they have no idea, no clue. So they were asking such silly, because innocent, ignorant. What is that girl doing there? And Prabhupada managed to get one storefront, was doing preaching on the street in the parks. Now he has his own place, one rented storefront, 26 2nd Avenue. And twice a week, Prabhupada was conducting his classes there. He met people on the street, in the park, and said, please come to or get together. So there was some shop before there. The owner, he vacated, he shifted to another location, but he left the sign behind. So some of the followers of Swamiji said, Swamiji, the sign from the previous owner, he left the sign behind. Oh, what does it say? Oh, it says, matchless gift. And Prabhupada, keep it. Otherwise, they're thinking of get rid of it, throw it away. No, keep it. If the sign says matchless gift, because my gifts are matchless. I have come with the matchless gifts. This is a very appropriate sign, matchless gifts. So cooking, he does the cooking, he does the offering, he gives the talk. He leads the kirtan, he teaches how to dance, he gets them to sit down, he feeds them, and when they have bellies full, they're out. Who does the cleaning? He does the cleaning. All this Prabhupada is going through. So it was all indoor going on. Now here are some followers. And one day, if you wish to join me and help me, then you got to follow some regulatory principles. Oh, what are they? And Prabhupada first time, no meat, no fish, no eggs. No intoxication, no disease, no gambling. Are you ready? And they all raise their hands. This is just after some months in America, and these sadhus getting American boys and girls, those who are coming, hippies, or long hair, and the bottles, and their girlfriends, and the boots had no idea. They don't know how to even sit properly. Nothing smelly folks. Prabhupada is tolerant and compassionate, kind to all of them. But now they're attracted to him, and now they're able to stay high forever. Swamiji has come from. Swamiji also said, I have a drug. You take this drug, then you will stay high forever. Now the drug that you take, you go high, and then you go low, and then you go higher, and you go lower, then you go highest, and then you go lowest, and then you don't come up again. Up and down, and up and down, and then down, and down forever. With the drug that I have, you can stay high forever. So they were into the drugs, looking for drugs. especially someone coming from India, then they would contact and check out whether he's carrying some drugs. And Swami says, yes, I have a drug. They're into drugs. So what is the drug? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare was the drug. So they were now getting intoxicated. For the first time, boys and girls, and hippies were becoming happy. So there's a perfection of Srila Prabhupada's vision, his travels to the West. He was fulfilling desires and executing the will of his spiritual master. He was in America, that is in the West, and he was preaching in English language, and he was distributing books, and he had now some followers, ready to follow 4 regulative principles. Of course, he had gone through lots of harassments and difficulties dealing with these crazy drug addicts in Bowery, what he had to go through, and his manuscript was stolen, or this happened, that happened. The first day I was in America, in 78, we arrived. The next day, we were given a tour of New York, wherever Bowery and the yoga studio by Riverside, and different devotee called Puru was our guide, and he was guiding myself and Giriraj, and there were a few others. We had traveled from India, myself first time, and then he was giving us a tour of all the places of Prabhupada, and then that Tompkins Square Park, the tree was still there, and that tree is still there now. Prabhupada was standing under that tree and giving his address and saying, I have nothing new to say to you, but I am here to remind what you have forgotten. These are Prabhupada's first public address words. His first public address underneath that tree in Tompkins Square Park. I have nothing new to say. What you have forgotten, I'm here to remind you. So that also, we visited that place. And lots of places. And then Prabhupada goes for foundation of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, was founded in 1966, about 1 year later. And for all of this time, for 1 year, Prabhupada had stayed in New York. He did not go any other towns and villages, mostly in and around New York. And now we had ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And we had another one in Boston, in San Francisco, and that is the first time Prabhupada's travel from New York to San Francisco. This is the first time Srila Prabhupada had his air travel. He had not traveled by plane before that. The first time he traveled to San Francisco, and it's time to land, and he was seeing those buildings, and he said, They look like a matchbox on the top of another matchbox and another matchbox. As his plane was coming down, he was seeing the skyscrapers and tall buildings and matchboxes on top of each other. So that was the next town Prabhupada visits and establishes Mukunda. Goswami was from there, he took leadership and many others. Then he goes to Montreal, here, there, London, goes to Japan also. He's publishing books. His Bhagavad Gita, published by Macmillan Company. He's checking his printing and editors in Kolkata. And 71, Prabhupada has come back to India. This time he has come with lots of followers with him. He had come once before in 67, just with one follower, and then he had also sent a couple of them, Jayapataka and Achyutanand. They were in Kolkata, Mayapur site, and so then Prabhupada starts traveling all over, doing pandal programs, and then he goes to Kumbh Mela in 72 Kumbh Mela. Like that. 72, after Gaur Purnima festival, Prabhupada comes to Vrindavan and he had this land given by Saraf, and Prabhupada did the groundbreaking ceremony. Before that, he had done one in Mayapur, 72, Gaur Purnima festival. Then he comes here and groundbreaking ceremony, and then he goes to Bombay and Hare Krishna land and groundbreaking ceremonies in 1 month or so. There are 3 lands and groundbreaking and temple constructions started. That's Srila Prabhupada goes to. So today is that day, this Sabbath day, Prabhupada's departure for America. We started with one person for a long time. Even after arrival in America, it was just one person, single-handedly, and no friends, no money, nothing here. Prabhupada has lots of sacrifices, lots of inconvenience, tapasya, all kinds of tests Prabhupada has passed. Of course, because he was not by himself, he was not alone. We say he had no friend, but his friend is Sri Krishna was his, and he is his friend. And the best friend. He had appeared in the dream on the boat also. And what about money? He was penniless, or what was his wealth? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. This was the wealth that he was carrying. With all that wealth that Americans had, that wealth was not making Americans happy. It was the kind of wealth that Prabhupada was carrying, and he delivered that wealth and made so-called rich Americans, in true sense, Prabhupada enriched their lives, gave lots of riches, gave Krishna, gave Krishna's name, Krishna's message. This was and is the wealth. So he travels for 14 times around the world, making people wealthy everywhere and happy everywhere. So we should never ever forget the sacrifices made by Srila Prabhupada for our welfare. Now we are sitting here in Balaram Hall with the fans and marble floor and microphone and asanas here. There's lots of sacrifices Prabhupada have been invested in those foundational days, setting up the seed and the foundation of Hare Krishna movement. So this is a history that inspires us and that will continue to inspire the whole world. Someone said, Veda Maharaj was saying, when Prabhupada got off the board, and if there was some reception, and if there was a hotel booking, and if there was this and that, well, that's a normal. There's nothing to talk about, or there's nothing to remember. But Lord has created such a situation. And Prabhupada, look, Prabhupada penniless. Look, Prabhupada 69 years old. Look, Prabhupada has no friends. Look, when he gets in America, he doesn't know where to turn. This is a different story altogether. Extraordinary. And that makes us think, the world think, from such humble beginnings. And everything kind of against elderly, no money, no friend, no. Prabhupada was in Bombay, he gave a talk, he said, that we started this movement with 40 rupees. He said, yeah, 40 rupees when he started Hare Krishna movement, started with 40 rupees. Now he said we have 400 crore or 4,000, it's a big number, crores of properties and wealth and empire all over the world. We started with 40 rupees. In 1972, Prabhupada had come for Kartik festival, first ever Kartik festival, and Prabhupada stayed in the same humble dwelling rather than the quarters. By this time he had followers around the world and wealthy disciples and Ambarish, George Harrison like supporters. But when he comes back to Vrindavan, he lived like 6 Goswamis. Tyakva Purnamashesha Mandalapati, all these 6 Goswamis also had abandoned lots of wealth and big positions and had come to Vrindavan and they were very humble simple living, simple, very down to the earth, to very basics. So that's where I had seen Srila Prabhupada in 71, and in 72 I joined, and I saw Prabhupada. That Kartik 72, I was pretty surprised. It's kind of simple, very simple. Like the Srila Prabhupada led. Hardly furniture or facilities. So I stayed also 1 month, 72. With Srila Prabhupada, and we are some 40, 50 devotees attending the Kartik festival, and we were thinking, oh, well, lots of devotees attending this festival. And when we were asked, oh, how many? Oh, 40! 40 devotees attending. 50 was considered lots of devotees, lots. And then we used to Prabhupada used to send us every day to this Ramanriti. From Radha Damodar temple, we start Kirtan in the morning and going through the here, there, doing the summer, and coming down to Radha Madan Mohan, where our Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala, and then finally we land here. And the groundbreaking had taken place in March 72. Kartik 72, digging was going on, and the Tamal tree was there. When I stood next to the Tamal tree, I was taller than the tree. But that tree is no more, and it is a second or third. It is a second tree. Tamal tree in the courtyard. Prabhupada had made sure that no tree is cut, especially Tamal tree. So he made the design so that the tree becomes part of the temple. So we come here every day, and very cold for the days. We'll keep that here, offer our obeisances, and go back again. Radha Damodar temple. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Prabhupada's departure for America ki Radha Damodar ki